Hey guys, out at Lake Manchester this morning. Um, Bit of a um, trial trip, this one, for the new kayak trolley that I made. Um, this is the perfect place to test it out, so hopefully it works well. This is the Mark II. The first one I did was a bit too narrow in the wheelbase, and it was a bit top heavy, and it toppled a fair bit, and yeah, it just didn't work quite right. So we've gone back to the drawing board and done some improvements. But out at Lake Manchester, there's a beautiful little spot, kayak only. Um, there's no motorcraft of any kind, or it's only pedal craft. But this is a map of the map of the map of the dam anyway. Lots of activities they do here, like horse riding and mountain biking here and whatever. I haven't done any of that. Actually, I walked one of the tracks one time to get to the back of the creek, and didn't find a lot of fish up there. A lot of shallow water, just some spangled perch and stuff. It wasn't as deep as what we thought it would be. But this is only the second time I've fished it, other than the time we walked up the back. I've put the kayak on here once and got quite a few bass, so it seems like a fairly good fishery. The weather's not perfect today. It's a bit overcast. Barometric pressure's starting to drop away. It's been high and perfect all week, of course, while I'm at work, but the weekend comes around and decides to turn a bit crappy. But they are talking about some showers later, so we'll see how we go. But this is the basic setup. I won't do a big rundown on it, but this is the basic setup anyway. So that's the basic setup. There's a trolley there. See how that goes. It's got much better ground clearance than the last one. We got a bit of a walk to the boat ramp, so we'll see how she goes. It's a little bit downhill, a little bit uneven and everything, so this is the perfect place to test her out. So we'll see how we go. Alright guys, we'll head down the track and hopefully no issues. Give her a test. It's a bit of a remote car park here, and I have heard of people having their cars broken into. I haven't had an issue, but like I said, I've only been here a couple of times, so probably something just to be aware of if you do come here. But it's a dirt road in, remote. The road doesn't really, I mean there's properties further up and everything, farms and stuff, but it doesn't get a lot of traffic, so there's not a lot of people around, so could potentially be an easy target for someone that tried to break into a car or whatever. A lot of people come here and walk their dogs and stuff too along the track here. Pretty excited to see if we get a few fish today. The weather's been really good. Nice high barometric pressure, but see how we go. It's the winter time, so in this time of year the bass tend to school up a bit more and find big schools of them. But I don't know if we'll be out here long enough to find any big schools unless we just happen to come across them. Last time I brought the kayak here I didn't have a sounder, so pretty keen to run the sounder over it. Have a bit of a look. So there's the sign. If you want to take your horse or whatever, you go down that way. This one goes down to the water. See the dam there in the background through the trees. So far so good with the trolley. Working really well. It's a bit of a steep hill, this one. So coming back up is a little challenging. loose gravel on it too, so it makes it a bit harder. I tend to walk on the edges where the grass is, so that less chance of slipping over or anything. Like that. That's exactly what I was talking about. When you got a kayak in front of you or behind you or whatever, I probably should have turned around and actually walked the kayak down in front of me, but didn't do that. But yeah, when you got the extra weight there, makes it a lot easier to slip over or whatever, pushing you along. Be really good if they were to open up a campground out here. It'd be beautiful. A beautiful place to come. I don't see that happening. Oh, he's doing its job there. Working quite well, actually. It's good. Might have fixed some of the issues. This trolley's a lot heavier than the last one that I had, but I can always go back to the drawing board if this design works and build one that's lighter, make it out of aluminium or something. It's a bit of trial and error. Don't know too many people that have a four-wheeled trolley for their kayak. Normally it's just a two-wheeled ones that you buy from the kayak shop or BCF or online or whatever, and they normally just have two wheels and you pick the other end of the kayak up. And my kayak's quite heavy, and then I load a bit of gear in it as well, and you know, this sort of terrain and stuff is what I sort of made this kayak for, so that I can travel over the rougher stuff. It is a bit big and cumbersome being that size, but that's a challenge you face. Smaller ones are probably more compact and easier to carry around and what have you with you, but the larger one, like this one, you lose that advantage, but what you gain is the four wheels, so you don't have to carry any of the weight of it. You just kind of just pull it along behind you. So wins in one regard and losses in another regard. So there's a little kayak launch area right down in front of us there. It's not great, it's just a little gravel area, grass on it, down under the water, and there's a gap in the water lilies, so this dam has water lilies all the way around it. Water lilies and weed, which is great habitat for the fish, but it's can make it a little bit more challenging to fish. It doesn't seem, from what I've explored of it so far, it doesn't seem to have a lot of underwater structure as such. I mean, there's the different changes in depth pattern and so forth, which always helps, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of timber or anything like that. It's more so the weedy edges and the drop-offs and stuff that you're kind of looking for the fish. You see there's another track here. Goes that way. Actually looks like they've had the tractor down here and done a bit of mowing recently. And there's the water. Someone else is here with a kayak. You can see their trolley there next to the post. So that's the traditional sort of trolley that most people use. I went to the extreme and made something a little bit bigger because my kayak's quite heavy, and I'm certainly not getting any younger. I'll give you the tip. I'll turn her around there so we can get her in the water. Alright. that. Easy as. So what I've done is I've brought myself a chain and a padlock, because ultimately I just don't trust people. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back in here next to this tree, and then I'm going to chain and padlock the trolley to the tree. I made a similar trolley to this many years ago. I used to have a canoe, and I made a similar trolley to this, actually probably a bit heavier than this one too. Well, this one's heavy enough, but it was even heavier. And I made that, and it was brilliant. Like brilliant. I used to fish the back of Wivenhoe, a place called Shades Crossing. I used to fish there a fair bit, and it was difficult to get into. Like the dam was quite low at the time because we were in a drought, and then I used to drive down to the water. It's quite a steep bank down to the water, just mowed grass. It was nothing extreme, but I used to drive down to the water and then launch the canoe in, and they put a holly for bollards up to stop people from driving down to the water. I don't see what harm it was doing personally, but you know, whatever. They do what they seem best. And so I made a trolley up to make my way down the river, because at that time it was quite low, and where the bridge was there was only a little trickle of water that used to run through, and so I made a trolley so that I could get down the hill and up the dry riverbed to where the deep water was. There's a big hole there, and I used to catch a lot of big yellowbelly and everything, and there was really good fishing. So it was worth the effort to get to it. But I made that trolley up, and it worked really well. But again, it was heavy, and it was a very similar design to this one, except it actually had bigger wheels on it and everything, and it was a bit heavier, but it worked good. Alright, so we're on the water. Just paddled out a little bit. I've already found 5 meters of water, so that's pretty impressive. So we're just going to run a couple of these. I think they're BCF lures, nothing too fancy. It's a dark day, so I thought I'd go with darker colours. Generally darker weather, darker colours. Sometimes that doesn't work, but last time I was here I caught all the fish on purple, so we will see how we go. This one's a bit brighter on the bottom, but green on the top, so we'll again, more natural colour than the other one. Just a little bit of variety to kind of see what they're biting on, if they're biting. Hopefully they are. Hopefully they are, and a couple of hours that we spend out here we get a few fish. So the plan today is kind of just to troll around and have a look. Like I said, I haven't explored this water a lot, so good opportunity to do a little bit more exploring. 6.5 meters of water here, so we'll get cracking. Hopefully get a fish. They do pull some really good fish out of here. I've heard of a lot of 50s and stuff coming out of here, so hopefully today will be the day that we get smashed. Nice big fish. For anyone that doesn't know, 50 centimetre bass is kind of considered a trophy fish. That'll work. That'll be a little bit of a juggling act. Thanks, but longer. Pedals certainly make it easier. 7 metres of water. There's a gully over here to my right. That's probably why water depth has changed.